Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Match number 59 of the season could give us the first qualifier for the playoffs. RCB are just one win away from confirming a top 4 finish. For that, they are in Lucknow to take on the Super Giants, who are one defeat away from being out of contention for a playoff spot. Let's build up to the game on Nexa Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout in the company of Tom Moody and Abhinav Mukund. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. These are two teams in completely opposite trajectories. Lucknow have been losing. RCB have only been winning. Feels like one-way traffic.
Yeah, you'd think so. If you look at form of the team, but also the players within the team. But at this stage of the tournament, funny things happen. We've seen it already with a couple of teams being knocked over by, cellar dwellers, which is, you can't really say that about CSK too often, but that's where they're sitting at the moment. But, the pressure is slightly different at the back end of the tournament because you're actually playing for that finishing line. And that finishing line is within sight, and sometimes that can be a distraction.
And we've got RCB, who are on the cusp of the playoffs, but also on the cusp of history. They have won 6 out of 6 away from home. If they win this game, they become the first team in IPL history to win every single away game of a league campaign. Have been dealt a bit of a blow though. Devdutt Padikkal, who's been a quiet but consistent performer, is out. Mayank Agarwal is the replacement in the squad. How big a loss is Padikkal, and is Agarwal the right replacement given his struggles in T20s of late?
It's an extraordinary number, first of all, to win 6 out of 6 away. If they end up doing 7 out of 7, then it'll be incredible because teams end up looking for home conditions and say, we'll build our team around, in this case, the Chinnaswamy Stadium. But asking about the replacement, I know Mayank Agarwal's just joined the side. They've got a few league games to go, and with one foot almost in the playoffs, I'd like to see them try this young man called Swastik Chikara. He's been around, he was in Delhi Capitals last year, he's part of the UP T20 League, won the title, their highest run scorer. We've already had successes coming out of Delhi with Priyan Sharya. I've got Aniket Verma from MP. Seen Ayush Matre, Urvil Patel. You've seen all of these successes. Why not now? Because if he fails, and if you think that you have that luxury of a Mayank Agarwal sitting out, if you need a proper batter, I would try Swastik Chikara and see what he has to offer at number 3.
Is it a risky move so close to the playoffs?
Yeah, it can be, but they've been using Padikkal as an impact sub. So, what they might do is employ the strategy of just holding fire with having that replacement batter, and if they do lose wickets, they'll then employ that batter, and that generally, would suit the way that RCB play, because the way that Kohli has played not only this season but every season, you can just about guarantee he's going to anchor the innings. So he's going to really, build that strong foundation. So the likes of, if we have another Romario Shepherd situation, that's brilliant. Tim David down the back end. So they've got the power to really drive a game home.
Just thinking of other possible options to fill that number 3 void. If Phil Salt is back, could they consider Jacob Bethel at number 3, where he has played a few matches, although that would mean at the expense of Romario Shepherd?
Yeah, that was another thought we were, discussing, that, he's just come off a first game 50, showing some good form. There's a lot of positive talk about, his game and where it's going, not only, immediately, but long term. So that's not a bad play, because he also offers a little bit of left arm spin, if you need that spin option. Tough call on Bethel or Romario Shepherd, but the IPL's a tough tournament, and you've got to have those tough conversations.
Potentially more of a batting role for Krunal Pandya too. The one game where he did come up, which was the last away game, he turned the game with the bat.
Yeah, more so, because if you've lost Devdutt Padikkal and if Phil Salt comes back in and you're not going to play Jacob Bethel, that makes him the only left-hander in that top 6. So his role becomes even more paramount, considering LSG don't have too many spin options. They've got Digvesh Rathi and can toy with the idea of Bishnoi, who didn't play the last game. But I think Krunal will be useful here. He knows the conditions, played there last year. And I think RCB like the idea of him playing as a floater, especially away from home. They're chasing. So I think his experience will come in handy, let's put it that way.
All right, let's turn our attention to Lucknow Super Giants. Started the season defying most pre-season expectations, won 4 of the first 6. It's gone off the boil and it's mirrored Nicholas Pooran. When he was making runs, they couldn't stop winning. He stopped scoring, they stopped winning.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Nicholas Pooran is, when he is on, there's no one like it. He's an extraordinary player. And, I don't know why he's gone quiet because, he's been in this type of form for months, if not years. But I don't think you can just pin it down to one player. I look at LSG and they just don't look like a balanced side. They don't look like a side that, the batting can protect their bowling or their bowling can protect their batting, because not every single day both of them are going to click. So you need your bowling unit. If your batting's not firing, if Nicholas Pooran's not firing or others aren't firing, you need your bowling unit to step up and play their role to get you over the line. And that's what good teams do. And I don't think they've got the capability to do that with the bowling stocks they've got.
It feels like those runs from Pooran and Mitch Marsh in the first 5 or 6 games were papering over a lot of cracks.
Yeah, and that's such a valid point though, right? Like you can't have one unit firing and can't expect the other one to not show up at all. And to be fair, Lucknow Super Giants have been a bit lucky this season. It's Mitchell Marsh's best IPL season in a while. It's I know he's an Aussie.
Yeah, he's a West Aussie as well.
Aussie as well. But it's been his best IPL season.
Oh, by far.
By a long way. And they've got bonus runs from that. They've got Aiden Markram who's firing. Unfortunately for them, Rishabh and David Miller haven't been. But their bowling unit is full of inexperience. And you look at it, they've got replacement players coming in. They've tried about 7, 8 Indian bowling options. I think their combinations are miss, and unfortunately for them, that's why they've had this much of a slump in this competition.
What is the best play for LSG? How do they maximize their chances and try and stay alive in this race?
I think they have to firstly try to win the toss and chase. I don't think they've got the bowling to be able to defend whatever that total may be. So I think you need to back your strength that on paper, okay, we know there's a couple of players in Pooran and Rishabh Pant that aren't scoring runs at the moment, but you've got to back your stars in. They're not going to lay quiet for too much longer. They'll come out and start throwing some punches at some stage. So I think that's the only way they can go about it.
All right. Anyone backing LSG?
No.
I'm not.
All right. Unanimous verdict. Thank you so much, Tom, Abhinav, for setting up the game for us. They've only met once at the Ekana, have these two sides. That was in 2023. RCB defended 130. A similar result, and history will be theirs, and so will a spot in the playoffs.
Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Excellent.